I put $100,000 on credit cards to start my business, which, and I cannot stress this enough, is not a thing that any financial advisor has ever recommended. Like zero. I've checked, I promise. But 6 years later, my company has built 1,200 units of affordable housing, and I've never paid a cent in credit card interest. Here's how I actually pulled it off and whether you should even think about doing the same. So quick context, right after I got out of college, for 6 years, I worked for an affordable housing developer, and I closed some of the most profitable deals in that company's history. And repeatedly, they snubbed me on the bonuses. That has a way of clarifying things. But the bigger reason I left was the housing itself. If you've ever driven around and thought, a lot of American affordable housing looks like the same beige rectangle. You're right. Same floor plan, same finishes, no resident services, and literally no placemaking. I wanted to build housing that actually felt like somewhere where you'd want to live. So I quit that job and decided to go for it on my own. I was 27, I had some savings, and my family chipped in a little to help me get started. But that was only going to last me a few months. So I went to the banks. The banks were, let's just say, not interested. A 27-year-old with no company, no revenue, and a vision about non-beige housing is not exactly their favorite borrower. I didn't get a single loan offer. Around that time, I had heard Jeff Seckinger, and I actually had him on as a guest on our Monumental podcast. And I heard others in what's called the 0% credit movement. Credit card companies offer a 12-month 0% intro APR on new credit cards. And if you're extremely disciplined, it's basically an interest-free loan. Miss the window and the APR snaps up to like 22% or more, at which point your startup has a second full-time job, basically making minimum payments to chase. I decided to give this a shot. I staggered the applications over a few months. Business cards mostly, so I could build business credit, and the limits were anywhere from $2,000 per card up to $20,000. And I kept applying until I hit about $100,000 in available credit. Here's where that $100K went. $10,000 of earnest money on a land deal, legal and architectural fees for developments, and living expenses because I still had to eat and pay rent. To keep our expenses as low as possible, my wife and I aggressively downsized. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment on the second floor of somebody else's house that I generously describe it as like a shoebox. We had one car between the two of us, and it was a leased Honda Civic, and we picked it because it had the lowest monthly payment. The rest of the money, it went into real estate deals and building the brand. Within the first year, we were working on a land play in Huntsville, multifamily acquisitions in both Louisville and Nashville, and earnest money on a development deal right here in Nashville. And of course, growing my podcast Monumental. But when you're in development or really any startup, here's something nobody really warns you about. You have to look like a professional, like you've already been successful even when you're getting started. It's how you build trust with your council members, your architects, and your capital partners to have them believe you'll be around for the next 18 months of a project, or really for the next few decades as a business. But also at the same time, actually not even going out to eat or spending on anything unnecessary to save the money. So walking that fine line in the beginning is just, it's interesting. It's a vibe. Really, the lowest moment though, it came early. So there was a 12-acre site near the Nashville airport. It was primed for affordable housing, the kind of deal that could really like kickstart our entire company and really catapult us. So we put down $10,000 in earnest money. All I needed was for the local council member to respond to my calls so we could start the rezoning process. You can probably guess what happened. They would not return a single call. I emailed, I followed up on the follow-up. I went to their in-person meetings. Eventually, weeks in, I got a one-line response. I have no interest in rezoning at this time. Great. Just great. $10,000 gone, which is a lot of money in general, and especially a lot of money when it's technically the bank's or credit card company's money, and you have 10 months to pay it back. So there were a lot of 2 a.m. nights in that apartment. The fear wasn't the 10K, it was the math. Development deals take about 2 years to close and start paying a fee. I had 12 months to pay off credit cards. The calendar just was not looking favorable. But here is what worked. I split my bets. So every dollar had to either fund a long-term development deal that would take longer term but could pay better fees and really long-term what I wanted to do, or a short-term play that paid back in 3 to 6 months. I knew I could make revenue and profit quickly, like land flipping, multifamily acquisition fees, and coaching. Not glamorous, but the short-term stuff paid the cards and the long-term stuff was the actual mission. I was also ruthlessly frugal. I would look at a $200 expense and ask, is there a version of this that could cost $40? Almost always there was. And I paid off all $100,000 in the 12 months. I never hit 22% APR on a single card, which is the only reason I'm making this video and not a very different video about bankruptcy. Okay. This is the part I would probably put in big bold letters if I could. I don't actually recommend this for everyone. I lost a lot of sleep during this time. There were weeks where the only thing holding my company up was my personal belief, my kind of delusional confidence that it would work. It was a mental state of mind that I had to get in. Because if you hit 22% APR, $100,000 quickly becomes roughly about $1,800 a month in minimum payments, and you're funding Chase full-time instead of building a company. I've seen this happen and it does not end well. Try investor capital, money from family or friends structured properly, or an equity partner first. Credit card capital is like the big kind of nuclear option if you absolutely need it, or you are supremely confident in yourself. That said, that $100,000 turned into something. Our first affordable housing deal, Shelby House, closed 2 years in. That was a $76 million development. And since then, we've helped create nearly 1,200 units of affordable housing here in Nashville. We purchased a 22 unit here and a 65 unit in Louisville. And the Monumental podcast became a top 200 business podcast on iTunes. We have 12 people on our Holiday Ventures team, and we're adding 6 more this year. And we're already expanding into Columbus and the Southeast. And none of this happens without that weird, funny, credit card frugal first year in a shoebox apartment with a Honda Civic and 14 credit cards. So would I do it again? Absolutely yes, but with better sleep aids. If you're capitalizing a new business, watch our investor capital video linked below. That's the path I would try first today. Subscribe for more on affordable housing, real estate and impact investing, and how cities actually get built. Thanks for watching.